wonder why, no matter what you do, no matter how much you meet your wife's request to make changes, it never seems to make her happy? I'm Leslie Dory's your marriage coach, and science has an explanation for why the goalposts always seem to keep moving. There's something called the blue dot effect. And this is where our brains are wired to look for negatives, to look for things that can harm us. Now, this is true across every human being, and pretty much it's actually true across every species, right? We're always on the lookout for danger, for threats, for things that can hurt us. This is what's behind the negative bias, where it takes 3 to 5 positive interactions to counteract one negative. That's how powerful the negative is. And the blue dot effect actually is sort of based on this. And so basically what you have is you have a series of dots that range in color from dark blue to dark purple. And it's your brain's interpretation of what blue is, right? And so when the blue dots get lighter or fewer in color, then what happens is your brain expands out to make more of the purple, what you would have described as purple before, to be more blue now. This is the idea of things have not been going well, and you start to make some real changes, and instead of your partner being thrilled about those changes, what actually happens is she starts looking for other things that she's unhappy about. Now, which is very frustrating. I have talked to a lot of men, a lot of my clients talk about, well, I'm doing what she wanted me to do, and she's still not happy. This is the scientific reason for this. And I'm not going to say it's not frustrating. And I also know it's why a lot of you just throw up your hands, because if you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So instead of making the effort to make the changes where you're going to still be in trouble, you go, yeah, not worth it. I'm just going to put up with what's going on. Well, that makes sense. The problem with that is it isn't going to change anything, and you're going to end up in divorce court. It's just what's going to happen. And part of this is she doesn't know she's doing this. And oh, by the way, you do this too. We all do this. We are all primed to pay attention to the negative. That's how powerful they are. And so, I've had this conversation with a lot of women. They say, well, if he's only doing it because I asked. My response to that is, and the problem with that is what? You made a request, he honored it. But what happens is if there is a true underlying sense of discontent, of unhappiness, of resentment, of whatever is going on with her, making the changes that she's asking for, while wonderful, doesn't really get at the problem. What gets at the problem is a conversation about what is desired for both of you. Does she still want to be married? Because like I said, she doesn't realize she's doing this. In fact, actually in the blue dot effect study, even when people are told about the effect, it doesn't change their behavior. They cannot stop it. It is hardwired into us to do this. It's hardwired into you, it's hardwired into me, it's hardwired into her. So what we have to do is take that into account, right? Because we can always find things that bother us, annoy us, frustrate us about our partners. And they will be finding those same things about you and me. I mean, this is a universal thing. So how do we deal with this? Well, the first one is to try to set up your relationship in a way that works for both of you. This is about having a marriage plan. This is the one area of our lives that we don't plan. We fall in love, we become a couple, we get married, and then we run into what a colleague of mine calls the disillusionment phase. This is where the blue dot effect is going to come into play. You aren't the person that she thought you were, right? Or you are more than that person. You have some flaws. You still have the strengths. You still have the things that she found attractive, but the balance has shifted. The things that she used to like about you or things she liked about you have fallen down to the things she doesn't like about you, about the relationship, about whatever. And so when you don't have a baseline to go from, then it's very hard to measure what's better. And even when things are improving the way that she wants them to improve, she's going to backstop that with other things. It's like, this is why you feel like you can never get out of the doghouse or out of the hole, right? And so part of it is to change the conversation. Because marriage is not just about her. Marriage is not just about her happiness or what she wants. You are part of this, and the marriage has to work for both of you. And when it all becomes about her, then she doesn't have to participate in making adjustments to fit you in. I don't know if that makes any sense. But this is really where people get into trouble, because they don't have a baseline. They haven't had a conversation where they have structured their relationship in a way where both people not only know, but have agreed to what is expected. And then as long as you are doing that, things will stay a little bit more even, right? You're still going to go back and forth a little bit about things that bother you versus things that don't. But if overall the relationship is good and strong, that's that 5 positives, right? Then when something goes wrong, the hit isn't so bad. It's like you get hit with a $10 fee versus a $2,000 fee, right? One is more easily absorbed, but it's this blue dot effect. And by the way, this impact, this effect is going to play out through every aspect of your marriage. And the whole thing, it's like the whole thing about rising tides lift all boats. Good experiences in a marriage lift everybody's feelings about it. And so that the negative things, the hard things, the things that somebody doesn't want, doesn't take dramatic hits. So you have to go back to the basics. What do you each want, right? Because focusing on the negative is natural and it's easy. It's also very dangerous. As I said, because of this blue dot effect, you fix one thing that's wrong, and then another thing that didn't seem to matter before now is suddenly life or death. And what's happening is you have to shift what your relationship looks like. You have to talk about what's going on on the deeper level. Because the other thing is, when we're focusing on the negatives, none of those positives matter. That's the 5-to-1. That's why we need 5 positives to balance out one negative. That's how powerful those negatives are. And if she is stuck in this negative feedback loop, the blue dot effect, then you're basically treading water, and eventually you're going to get tired and drown, right? We don't want that. So if you want to know how to structure your relationship, how to have the conversation with her about what is really necessary, what needs to change, both on your side, and by the way, on hers as well, because she's half of the relationship, then I invite you to get in touch with me. Because like I said, even when people know this is happening, they can't stop it. And so having a way to interrupt that is where the impact is going to be. So hopefully you found this helpful, and if you want more information, please get in touch with me. You can send me an email at Lesli, Lesli, at foundationscoachingnc.com. That's FOUNDATIONS, coaching, N as in Nancy, C as in Charlie.com. If you find this helpful, please subscribe to the channel, and please feel free to share it with your friends. And until next week, stay loving.